morning and welcome back to Career Coffee Shop. I am James Schindler, Coordinator of Career and Job Placement here at Santa Fe College, and my co-host is Ismelda Alvarez, Admissions Specialist. How you doing this morning?
Hey James, I'm doing great and happy to be here with you all this morning. You know, James, these past 2 weeks have been really busy.
You know what? I was just thinking the same thing. Halloween just passed, as did Election Day. Veterans Day is right around the corner, and then we go full bore into the holiday season. There's barely time to breathe, but you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, you're right, James. So today we have a great lineup today, but there is one guest that I'm extra excited to have join us, James Albury from the Santa Fe College Planetarium. If you are looking for something fun and exciting to do, the planetarium should definitely be on your list. Who knows, you might even learn a thing or two.
I couldn't agree more. And speaking of learning, we all know how important an education is, but one area people tend to overlook is continuing education. If there is one thing that COVID has taught us, it's the importance of being prepared and adaptable. Technology changes faster than most of us can keep up with, and it's super important to keep up to date with the new tools and resources necessary for us to perform our job duties.
Yes, Santa Fe College's continuing education program is here to tell us about some ways that Santa Fe College can help you invest in yourself and stay ahead of the game no matter what your occupation is.
But before we hear from them, let's take a few minutes to talk about Veterans Day, November 11th, coming up, and find out about some of the upcoming veteran celebrations open to everyone right here in Alachua County.
Yes, and no better than to fill us in all the things veterans than Nick from Santa Fe College's Veteran and Military Success Department. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you guys so much. Did you know, as you said, Veterans Day is occurring on November 11th in honor of the 11th hour, the 11th day, the 11th month of 1918, and was originally called Armistice Day. It wasn't until 1954 when President Dwight D. Eisenhower officially changed the name of the holiday from Armistice Day to Veterans Day. So we are extremely busy this month. We have events going on just about every single day here at the college and also out in the community. One of the big ones that I always enjoy going to is the Alachua County Veterans Day presentation, which is usually done out over at the Veterans Memorial Park. Unfortunately, with COVID-19 going on, they are moving that to a more virtual environment, which will be aired on the local television stations. But knowing Kim Davis, the director of the Alachua County Veterans Services, I know she'll still capture that spirit that normally comes with that whole presentation. As far as Santa Fe, it looks like we have an event going on pretty much every day of next week. Santa Fe, we're doing a few interviews with some of our student veterans, along with veterans out in the community. Dr. Brody will definitely be saying a few words about Veterans Day as well. Also, we are hosting the Gainesville Chamber of Commerce is doing their Veterans Appreciation Awards. That will be airing from our campus, and it will be airing on November 13th. And then on top of that, if you don't have enough to do on Veterans Day, Student Life will be hosting a virtual Ask Me Anything Zoom on Veterans Day at 3 p.m. And their guest is none other than retired Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps and our Veterans Coordinator, Sandra Torres Pintos, along with her daughter, Captain Dorinda Pintos of the Marine Corps, and Sandra's daughter. So that will be an event that I am definitely looking forward to. As far as things going out in the future, we also, like you said, we have Christmas coming up, and with that, we have Wreaths Across America, which will be on December 19th at the East Side Forest Meadow Cemetery. And finally, if you look for other things to do during December, we have the All Veterans Christmas Party and Veterans Awards Banquet happening on December 19th at 6 p.m. at the Wyndham Hotel.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick. Wreaths Across America is definitely one of my favorite events. I think that's taking place at noon is the advertised time, but I'll give you a little secret. If you show up a little early, 11:15, you get to watch the riders come in, and it's nothing short of amazing to watch 100+ motorcycles pulling up right before the ceremony. So be sure to miss it. Nick, I got a quick question for you. What are some of the changes that you're seeing there on Santa Fe campus in your department now that we're well into the new semester?
Well, it's funny you should ask that, actually. Our Santa Fe College was recently awarded a new grant, this Veteran Student Support Services grant for the year. And with that, there's actually going to be a remodeling of our office. We're adding three new positions, a veterans coordinator, a academic coach, and an administrative assistant. And with that, we need to add offices to our spaces. Now, the TRIO program for veterans is specifically for predominantly for our first generation low-income students. Now, first generation meaning you are the first person in your family to get that bachelor's degree, which happens coincidentally be most of our veterans. A lot of them, they choose to go into the military because they don't have the funding to go to college. And that most often than not, they are the first generation students.
Nice. Nick, thank you so much for your service, and thank you for joining us today. Let's get out there and show our support for our veteran population. They do a lot for our community, and this is a great way to recognize them.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us, Nick. You know what, James? It just dawned me that we haven't talked about coffee yet on today's show, so I need to take care of that. Is there anything that you would like to know regarding coffee?
Funny you should ask. So I've always been told to not drink coffee before bed because it'll keep you awake. So my question is it a bad idea to drink coffee at night before bedtime?
You know, that's a great question, James. And I think you might be surprised by the answer. According to researchers from Harvard Medical School and Florida Atlantic University, after studying 785 people for a total of 5,164 days and nights using wrist sensors and sleep diaries, you can have that late night cup of coffee and it won't affect the quality of your sleep. The researchers recorded how much caffeine, alcohol, and nicotine people consumed and found that while alcohol and nicotine both disrupted sleep, caffeine seemed to have no effect. They did go on to say that there is no golden rule about this that applies to everyone, so just listen to your body.
That's great advice, Iz. I've always avoided caffeine in the evening, but honestly, it's more because of having been told that it will keep me awake rather than finding out for myself. I know what I'm doing tonight.
You know, there's also research linking teeth grinding to caffeine consumption, so just watch out. And a quick reminder to all of our viewers, please hit the like button and share with a friend or colleague. All of our shows are recorded and posted to YouTube so they can be viewed later. So in addition to today's webcast, please check out the other ones as well.
All right, now on to the show. People have been looking up to the stars for as long as we have populated this planet. I used to think the sky was still, a static display of sorts, but boy, was I wrong. I sit outside almost every evening looking up at the night sky. In addition to aircraft, I watch shooting stars. I dream about seeing a comet. I sometimes catch a quick reflection of the sun reflecting off of a satellite. And not to be left out, once in a great while, I see the unknown.
Yes, James. So I grew up in a small county, specifically Hamilton County to be exact. And living out in the country, you don't realize how much city light really affects how much you can see in the sky. So anytime I get to go home, I make it a goal to always look at the stars because since it's out in the country, there's no city lights and you can see all the stars. And it's so bright that it feels like you can almost touch the stars yourself. So speaking of stars, please welcome James Albury from the Planetarium here to wow us with his knowledge of the extraterrestrial. Welcome, James.
Hello, everyone, and I am James Albury, the director of the Kika Silva Pla Planetarium, and I'd like to welcome you to my house. So, I've got my friends here with me, and we're going to head on inside the planetarium. See you in a bit. Hello, and welcome to the Kika Silva Pla Planetarium, and as you can tell, I'm wearing a mask that almost matches my tie. So the planetarium, we are now 14 years old. We were dedicated in September of 2006, and it is now, we've been in operation for 14 years. Now for the last several months, we've been closed due to COVID-19, but we're gonna be hopefully reopening again soon for private reservations. So if you check out our website here at Santa Fe College, you'll be able to find out more information about that. So I've been director here for 11 years, And not only do we have planetarium shows where you can learn about space and stars and planets, but we also have programs where you can learn about archaeoastronomy with the Maya, or you can learn about biology and learn about evolution and so forth. And we can even take you on a journey from Earth to any of the other planets in our solar system. So again, if you check our website, you'll be able to find more information about that. This is our space simulator. It's a Chronos space projector, basically, and what it has several projectors on the top and bottom. These cylinders here, they spin, and they have mirrors on them that project the positions of the planets. And overall, this projector can project 8,000 stars on the ceiling. And as you can tell, our ceiling is curved. So when you come into the planetarium, it feels as if you're outside looking at the stars. So there are 16 lenses on the southern hemisphere and 16 on the northern hemisphere, and they project sections of the night sky, very similar to what you see on that pattern you see on a soccer ball. And then I can set the console controls to any date in history, thousands of years in the past or in the future, and I can show you exactly what the sky looked like on any date in history. So if you ever come to the planetarium and you want to see what the sky looked like on your birthday or your anniversary, we can show you that. And when we purchased this projector, it cost more than my house, almost $250,000 when we purchased it. So after 14 years, it's still running smoothly. So hopefully we'll have a chance for y'all to come by and see it. I started my planetarium journey when I was very young. When I was about 6 years old, my parents took me to a planetarium in Miami. And after that point, I enjoyed astronomy so much that we'd go to the library and I always check out books on astronomy and science and NASA and the space program. And when I was 13, my dad took me to see a planetarium show called Child of the Universe. And that show was produced by Jack Horkheimer, the director of that planetarium. And the show inspired me so much that I actually talked to the person who was operating the machine that day. And I asked him, how does a person get to do what you do for a living? So they brought me on as an apprentice at that planetarium, and I worked as a volunteer for the first year from 14 to 15 years old. And then when I turned 15, they hired me part-time to actually operate their machine. Their machine was much bigger than this one. But it was really cool that I got to work in a planetarium before I could even drive a car. One of the things that I like most about astronomy is that you can participate in it on any level. You can be an amateur astronomer and just study the stars from your own backyard, or you can be a little more hardcore with it and buy your own telescope, or you can be a member of an astronomy club like the one we have here in Gainesville. We have the Alachua Astronomy Club, and we have meetings monthly. A lot of them are all on Zoom at the moment, but quarterly they'll meet here at the planetarium. And then you could become a professional astronomer, either working in a planetarium like I do, or you can work at a college or a university or work at an observatory. And there are a lot of resources out there, and I can share links with you to the American Astronomical Society, where they actually have a whole section of their website devoted to careers in astronomy. So if you're wanting to become an astronomer, Santa Fe College, we do have an astronomy major program where you can major in astronomy and then transfer to the University of Florida. And quite a few of the students who've worked with me have actually left Santa Fe College and gone and applied to the astrophysics program at UF, and they're working with them over there in their coursework. So that is definitely a route that you can choose. Excellent. Okay, so the number of stars that our projector here can project are the number of stars you can see with the naked eye from the surface of the Earth, and that's around 8,000 stars. However, the galaxy itself contains over 100 billion stars, so unfortunately we can't see all those with the naked eye, but our digital projector, which is the one down here next to me, we can actually simulate all 100 billion stars, and we can fly to each of those stars. And if any of the stars have planets, those are already pre-programmed into the system where we can visit those extrasolar planets. And one of the things we like to do with the students, particularly the ones who attend our space camp that we have through Santa Fe College, I'll take them to a different planet and they can make their own constellations using the same stars that we use. But when you go to a different solar system, the stars are all in different positions. So Orion doesn't look like Orion anymore. He looks more like a lawnmower or a baby buggy because the stars all change position. But my favorite constellation, I have two of them. I have Scorpius, which is my favorite summer constellation because it actually looks like what it's supposed to look like. And it also looks like the letter J, which is the first letter of my name, first name. And then my other favorite is Orion. He is a bright constellation in the winter sky. And you'll be able to see Orion in the sky in just a few months. If you wake up early in the morning, like about 5 or 6 in the morning, you can see Orion easily in the southern part of the sky. And I like both those constellations because they're actually part of the same story. Orion was boasting about what a great hunter he was. So he was out hunting all sorts of creatures. And he said, I could hunt anything in the world. I can hunt any creature that's out there. Well, Gaia, the goddess of the earth, she was very upset about him boasting. So she sent Scorpius, the scorpion, to teach him a lesson. So while he was out hunting, the scorpion came along and stung him on the ankle. And the poison was so strong that it killed Orion. Now, according to that story, Ophiuchus, who was a friend of Orion, he saw what happened, and he gave Orion an antidote that cured him from brought him back to life. So in honor of that, Zeus put a picture of Orion in the sky, and Gaia put an image of the scorpion in the sky. And from their positions in the sky, it looks like they're constantly chasing each other. So you'll see Scorpius setting, and then several hours later, you'll see Orion rising, and they look like they're chasing each other in the sky. Okay, so I do have my own astronomy series on YouTube. The series is called The Sky Above Us, and I created the series back in the early part of 2020. Back in February, we debuted our first episode, The March of the Planets. And I did that because I originally was the co-host of Stargazers on PBS, and Dean Regas from the Cincinnati Observatory, he and I hosted that show for 9 years. And when we no longer hosted the show, I thought, I still would like to share my love of astronomy with everybody. So I started producing the show with some help from a couple of my friends here at Santa Fe College. We actually produce it, and we debut episodes every 2 weeks on the 15th and the 30th of the month. And most recently, we talked about the blue pumpkin moon, which is the full moon on Halloween this year. And as luck would have it, with all the other fun stuff that's been happening during 2020, we got a full moon on Halloween. And we only get a full moon on Halloween every 19 years, so who would have thought it would have timed itself just right? And we have a Friday the 13th in November, so yeah. But anyway, it was a beautiful full moon, if you happen to see it. And then Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn are all lined up in the sky. And Mars is very bright right now. So we encourage you to go outside and look up and take a look at that. And then Jupiter and Saturn, when we get to the end of the year, on December 21st, Jupiter and Saturn are going to appear so close to each other that they'll look almost like one star. This will be the closest that Jupiter and Saturn will have appeared in the sky together since 1623. So I'm praying for clear skies, because we have a saying called the Horkheimer effect, and we named it after Jack because the rule of it's kind of like Murphy's Law for astronomers. The probability of cloud cover is directly proportional to the awesomeness of the event you're trying to show people. So if it's going to be something you won't see for another 2,000 years, it's going to be cloudy. But we pray it won't be cloudy. Yes, meteor showers. Now, if you've never seen a meteor shower, it's basically when you're outside, you see shooting stars. And there will be a lot of them instead of just one or two. A meteor shower is caused when the Earth passes through the debris left behind by a comet. And in November, we cross the orbit of comet Tempel-Tuttle. Now, Tempel-Tuttle has an orbit period of about 33 years. So every 33 years, we see more impressive display. Right now, we're not going to see that many meteors as we would in a peak year, but the moon won't be interfering with it, so you're more likely to see more meteors than you would when the moon is out there, because the moon is so bright that it washes out a lot of the fainter of the meteors. So anytime between midnight and sunrise, you'll be able to see 1 to 2 meteors every minute or so. Sometimes you'll see one or two at the same time, and then you have to wait about 10 minutes before you see another one. So in the episode that we just posted about the Leonid meteor shower, I give you some best practices on how to observe the meteor shower safely and well, how to enjoy it. It's not really it's not like you're looking at the sun or anything, but I recommend people take a blanket because it's November and it's cold. Currently, the planetarium, we are not able to do public presentations because of COVID-19 precautions, but we are putting together a plan to have private reservations. So when you visit the planetarium's website here at Santa Fe College, you'll be able to go to our website and submit a request to reserve the planetarium, and admission will be $50 to reserve the planetarium and $5 per each person who attends. And right now we're limiting it to 14 people at most, but as things get better, we'll be able to increase it back to our 60 person limit. And normally, when we're open, we would have public showings on Friday nights at 7 o'clock. That's when we use our projector here to point out the night sky, and we give you a guided tour of the night sky. And 9 o'clock, we have our music presentation, and that's our Music 360 show. And we usually do Pink Floyd on Fridays, so we'll do Dark Side of the Moon, or we'll do The Wall. And then on Saturday, we have a variety of shows for children. We have one at 3 o'clock, and then at 5 o'clock, we have our general matinee. And at 7 o'clock, we have our special matinee, and 9 o'clock, we have another music program. Usually we'll do Led Zeppelin on Saturday nights. And you can find all that on our website.
James, thank you so much for joining us today. That was amazing. I can't wait to check out some of your video presentations online. Interestingly, I attend the biotech event every year out at Progress Park. And one year there was a gentleman handing out posters in which he had mapped out and colorized brain activity. You know what? That poster, James, looked almost exactly like your space tie. It does make a person think.
Now, whether you need an industrial certification, changing careers and focusing on career investment, starting or growing your small business, or seeking the in-demand skills for emerging technologies, SF Continuing Education has programs that will fit in your busy schedule.
We all know the importance of education, whether it be a college degree after high school, an industry certification, or maybe even on-the-job training. But what about after you have that great job and have been in the position for a few years? It is important that you continue to learn new skills if you want to move into positions of more responsibility and, of course, more money.
So here to tell us more about the continuing education programs, please welcome Lisa Anderson.
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Doing great. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and allowing me to talk a little bit about continuing education at Santa Fe College. So at Santa Fe College, there is no application fee or no requirements to take any of our continuing education courses. They're open to anyone in our community, anyone that's interested in taking any type of a course. Some of our most popular courses, and let me say that they do change within as the economy changes, as the climate changes in the world, if you will. But generally, most of our most popular courses are our technology courses, because technology changes so fast. And as you said, you have to keep up with technology to keep going in the emerging technologies of the world. Also, we do have a large healthcare community in our community. So medical billing and coding is also a really popular course for us. In addition to that, insurance pre-licensing. So if you want to get your license to sell insurance, that's done through continuing education. And we have a large base of insurance agencies that work with us to get their talent licensed. We also work with entrepreneurs. As many of you know, we have the Center for Innovation and Economic Development, the SEED, that is currently under construction on the corner of University and 6th Street, and it will grow into this beautiful Blunt Hall that will then again house the SEED. We also have the GTech Center that is out on Southeast Hawthorne Road, In between those two entities, we have our small business incubator. So people that were generally working in their home, doing a variety of different things, but wanted to get out of their home and get a more professional environment to market their business. They could rent space in either GTech or the Seed and have an office space, shared office space, have somewhere for their business mail to come. Also, the entrepreneur team offers the incubating companies assistance with accounting, HR, different support services, grant writing. So the whole scope of anything an individual would need to be successful starting their own business. In addition to classes on how to start your business, how to create a business plan, marketing, licensing, intellectual property. So all of that as well.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Lisa. And what are the requirements to take classes when it comes to the continuing education programs?
They just give us a call at Continuing Ed and we will direct them how to register. But as I mentioned, there is no application fee. They don't have to be a Santa Fe student, anybody from the community. So we register them through our office for our classes. And one thing I wanted to mention, our classes are very flexible. We have some classes that are just a 3-hour class. They can be a week, they could be 3 weeks, half a day. So it really varies. And then the other thing I wanted to mention too is we have our corporate education where we work with employers and help them identify skill gaps and then help provide solutions for getting their organization and their team members trained.
Lisa, you mentioned the new center going in downtown. Can you just tell us what centers you're physically located in, or are you offering courses in multiple centers?
Yes, I'm located in the Blunt Center, DA building. We do offer courses in the Blunt Center, out at GTech, out at the main campus, on-site at different companies' locations when we're bringing training to them. And then we have a large majority of online training as well. That can be anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months in any topic area from technology to project management to human resources to leadership.
Nice. Last question. You mentioned a little bit about entrepreneurs, and I have a special place in my heart for entrepreneurs. Tell us just a little bit about what an entrepreneur can expect from your program.
Well, they can expect the main expectation they have coming in is support. So we, find out where they are in their life cycle of their business, and then help them provide solutions for them to kind of get well-rounded. And they become residents, if you will, in our incubator. We have small business incubators. As I mentioned, they can rent space. And we help them with training. If they have any employees, we help get them trained as well. And then, as I mentioned, provide the support services to make them successful. Because we want them to be successful and then graduate out of the incubators and become community businesses.
And I have one final question for you, Lisa. If somebody wanted to teach one of those courses, how would they go about scheduling that, and what are the requirements to do so?
Sure. Yes, anyone interested in teaching any course, they can contact me directly. They can also go to the Continuing Ed website, and there's a link for them to submit a course proposal. But we're always looking for new course ideas and new curriculum. So yes, anyone that's interested, please, yes, go to our website, or they can give me a call directly.
Lisa, thank you so much for joining us and sharing that great information. It can be tough to go back to school. I was going to say, it can be tough to go back to school, and you've made it so easy.
Well, it can be, and we have a good team that helps the individuals that come in our office make that step and be successful.
Well, that's awesome. It sounds like you make it a lot of fun. So again, thank you for being with us.
Quick reminder to our audience, if you have any questions as we work our way through the presentations, please submit them via the chat function and we will do our best to address them during the broadcast or get them to the appropriate department or business owner for follow-up.
With that said, it's now time for my favorite part of our show, Career Corner. We had 4 very different employers joining us this morning. We're down to 3, but each of them have great opportunities for the right person.
Our first employer is a returning guest and gives students in our area a great way to earn a little extra money. She would do her best to work around your class schedule and will work. And while the work can be demanding, no special certifications or licensings are required. Please welcome Suliana from Student Maid.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here. I hope y'all are having a great day. Yes, so I've been with Student Maid on and off since I moved to Gainesville about 6 years ago. I started off as a cleaner, and now I'm actually their recruitment ambassador. And I have a little presentation prepared for y'all today. Let's see. Does that look good to everybody? Awesome. So Student Maid is a locally owned cleaning and concierge service business. They've been open for a little over 10 years. Our values include integrity, embracing change, problem solving, communication, and growth. We really love to stay connected with our community and making sure our team members are taken care of. As Izzy mentioned, we do pride ourselves in the flexible schedule to our students. We understand that we have a lot of students in the UF, Santa Fe, or even Gainesville High School that would like to make a little bit of cash on the side. And we just ask our workers, our team members, to commit a minimum of 15 hours a week. For the days committed to be about 5 hours. And you do have opportunities to update your availability every semester. And it is a part-time position, but especially over turnover season during the summer, you can look forward to picking up any shifts as desired. Compensation. So this is a little bit of a change since the last time I spoke on the coffee shop. We were able to give everyone a $2 raise. So instead of the $9.35 an hour, it's bumped up to $11.35 an hour. We're trying to be considerate, especially during the pandemic. We just want to keep up with the times, and we know a minimum wage can be hard to live off of. And we do offer mileage reimbursement for the driver. You can look forward to receiving tips for going above and beyond in your cleaning and being a good team player. So if you are interested, there are flyers posted around campus. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and there is a job posting on Indeed. And let's see.
All right, Suliana, I've got a question. How does someone apply? What's the best way?
So the best way is to go to studentmaid.com. There's a little chat box that pops up in the bottom that says, how can we help you today? Or if you just explore the website, it's pretty easy. You go to our job form and submit through there, and then we reach back to you through the email that you provide.
And do you ever have students that return to work year after year?
Yes. So during the turnover season, we call it move out season. A lot of students that return since the summer, their availability is a little bit more open. And we love to see them come back and watch them grow as they go through their bachelor's or associate's degree anywhere in Gainesville.
First, I want to commend you for that $2 an hour raise. That's awesome to hear. It really helps people in our community, working towards that livable wage. So again, thank you for doing that on behalf of your business. But with that said, what would a normal work day look like? Can you describe that for us for what one of your workers can expect to experience on a normal day?
Yes, definitely. So on an average day with someone that had an open availability, let's say on a Thursday, they could look forward to coming in the office, which is like our hub, around 8:30. You would already be told your schedule 2 weeks prior. So you just go through your resident list. Give the resident a phone call, tell them, hey, we're getting ready to head your way, be there in about 20 minutes. With COVID, it's a little different now. We have our team members driving in separate cars that they prefer just to maintain that social distancing. We provide personal protective equipment for all of our team members for safety, car seat covers if someone wants to make sure their car is clean after every cleaning. And we have another disinfecting chemical that we add to clean our tools between every home, just to make sure that we're not bringing anything to anyone's home or bringing it back to the office. And then from 8:30, you might clean typically 2 homes, usually about 2 hours each. A lot of them are recurring clients, so it's more of a touch-up, helping families organize. A lot of the families are a lot of children, so you look forward to organizing toys. And then coming back to the office around 3:30 or 4 just to unpack, clean up, and get some snacks in our kitchen and head home.
And then if someone is interested in your cleaning services, how much should they expect to pay, or where can they go to schedule a visit or like a cleaning day?
Yes, so our website is also the main resource for that. You could go to our website or give us a call to our main office. Our price range is by the hour with a minimum of 1 hour for the book. Starts off at $75, but as you call and we ask more questions about the home and anything specific, we do offer like coupons and discounts, especially for clients that decide to book with us as recurring clients.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us today, Juliana. I know that many students have benefited greatly from your business model, so thank you once again for being here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day, Juliana. Who doesn't love animals? The Career and Job Placement Office has recently partnered with the North Georgia Wildlife Park to bring even more exciting job opportunities to those people who have dedicated their lives to working with animals. Well, you know what? They were supposed to join us today, but unfortunately had some technical issues and weren't able to be here.
But all is not lost. Please check out the Santa Fe College Student Job Board Career Coach on sfcollege.edu to learn more about the exciting opportunities they have available. And check back often as the needs of the organization do change with seasons.
While we're on the topic of wildlife, Iz a while ago shared with me that it is her dream to hold an otter. And I was hoping I could talk to them into making it happen for you, Iz, but it looks like you're gonna have to be patient. But you know what? I'm gonna keep trying. Mark Twain once said, travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness. And many of our people need it sorely on these accounts. Broad, wholesome, charitable views of men and things cannot be acquired by vegetating in one little corner of the earth all one's lifetime.
So just imagine being able to travel and staying long enough to immerse yourself in a new culture, and best of all, getting paid to do it. The Peace Corps can help you do just that. Please welcome Chris Lenz.
Hi, y'all. Thank you and good morning. I appreciate it, Ismelda and James, for having us on again. And it's just kind of funny because I do have a Mark Twain book on my bedside table right now. So wonderful author, wonderful American. There's a prestigious award named after him. So anyone who's not familiar with the work and writings of Mark Twain should absolutely, definitely check it out. And that's also kind of funny because Peace Corps volunteers, when you're living overseas, you tend to have a lot of free time in the evenings. And I think on average, we read about 150 books a year. So if you feel like you need some time to get that reading list taken care of, or even write your own book, Peace Corps service might be a way to go. There are actually 1,000 books written by people who have served in Peace Corps. So again, if you're interested in learning about other countries and cultures without even necessarily serving yourself, there's quite an extensive Peace Corps reading list. So my name is Christopher Lenz, and I am the regional recruiter. I cover all Peace Corps events from Jacksonville to Pensacola, up into southern Georgia, and then down into Gainesville and Santa Fe. I think I have the best federal job in the world because I spend most of my time just talking about my own personal Peace Corps experience. But even more importantly, I bring the idea of Peace Corps service, the opportunities to folks who may not have ever realized that it's their own opportunity, right? So we are trying to send a diverse group of Americans out to the world. They could be older folks, they could be first generation Americans, first generation college students, they could be people from different religious, ethnic backgrounds. The whole idea of Peace Corps is that we want to just highlight how diverse and wonderful the United States is. So Peace Corps is a federal agency. We are celebrating our 60th anniversary this year. It was in the month of October where John F. Kennedy, while running for president, came down the steps, University of Michigan, and just announced the idea of sending qualified and committed Americans to countries that ask for it. And I think that is one of the most important aspects of Peace Corps is that it's these other countries around the world that approach us and say, hey, we need people to help teach about HIV/AIDS education prevention, or we need small business developers. We need English teachers, special education, math, science, chemistry teachers. We need people who have an agricultural background. So we have 6 primary sectors. And the nice thing about Peace Corps is we're always looking at the whole person in terms of the candidate, right? It is a competitive process, but anybody with the bachelor's, we will probably find something for you. So we look at the whole person, your resume, your work history, your transcripts, your volunteer activities, community leadership. If you play the tuba, that goes on your resume. If you had 18 chickens in the backyard growing up, that goes on the resume. We're, again, looking at the whole person. The beauty of Peace Corps is you do have a primary project overseas, something that that community has identified as a high need, but there's no limits to what you do. You will be in that community for 2 years. I was health extension volunteer in Tanzania. Primary focus, HIV/AIDS education, malaria prevention, maternal child health, nutrition. But I also planted 160,000 pine trees with my community. I had a girls' soccer team. I had a girls' art club. I had a community theater team. Someone came up to me and said, what do you know about beekeeping? And I said, nothing. But we found a training, and 2 years later, we had 20 community members making honey, and we're trying to sell their candles on Etsy, right? So again, Peace Corps, we don't really offer jobs in the United States. It's a unique opportunity to go live and work in one of the 61 countries around the world. Could be in South America, could be in Sub-Saharan Africa, Eastern Central Europe, Asia, the Pacific, throughout the world, right? Peace Corps being a federal agency, everything is taken care of. Your health and dental completely covered, student loans are deferred, all your transportation, you get 24 vacation days a year. You receive a monthly living allowance, depending on the country you live in, but to take care of all your expenses. Every month you serve, the U.S. government puts money aside. So at the end of the 2-year service, you get handed $10,000. You can do that with what you want. You can go to Vegas. You can buy a convertible. That's completely up to you. We also have over 200 different graduate school opportunities for returned Peace Corps volunteers that all have money attached. And we also have federal job opportunities where any federal agency, could be FEMA, could be the EPA, could be Homeland Security, the National Park Service, any federal agency can hire a returned Peace Corps volunteer without going through the formal sort of government red tape, I guess. So again, it's a unique opportunity to go live and work in a country and a culture that you might never have even heard of. You will learn the language. You will be part of that community. The United States is wonderful, and it will all be here when you get back. So.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Chris. Especially when you're talking about the V, I was looking into that not so long ago, and I'm like, this is incredible. When it comes to the application process, is there a particular type of person you are looking for when reviewing the applications?
So the basic requirements, you have to be 18 years old and a U.S. citizen. That being said, about 96% of our volunteers do have at least a 4-year degree. So again, we're looking at all degrees. Doesn't matter if it's a liberal art or a little something more technical. You're going to put it to use at some point during your Peace Corps service. So currently we are accepting applications for all programs, hopefully departing in 2021. With COVID, we did have to evacuate all 7,000 people from 61 different countries, but hopefully this January we'll start getting people back overseas. It can be a 5 to 6 month application process. So we tell people end of junior year, beginning of senior year, or if you're an alumni, if you've already graduated, or you have 5 years of real experience. If you're thinking of leaving to serve overseas in 2021, you can go ahead and start the application. It only takes about 45 minutes. Of course, it's all done online, but part of my job is I review resumes and I review that motivation statement. I help people actually through the application process. So you can always reach out to me with any questions about the actual application or what you might do overseas, where you can serve, whether or not you have a language requirement ahead of time, things like that.
Chris, thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm especially glad to hear that you've got to focus on the bees, because I know that they're having some problems throughout the world. So
Right.
It's great that you're helping introduce this to other cultures, to other countries.
Right.
We also believe very strongly in the value of travel and collaboration, and we're going to continue to let people know about the great opportunities that the Peace Corps offers.
All right, well, hey, thank you all again for having me, and go Gators.
So our guest today is what I would call a champion. We all need someone to fight for us once in a while, to stand up for what is right, especially when we can't, and a shoulder to cry on. The Arc of Alachua County is just that, starting with a group of parents in 1962. The ARC has continuously provided services to developmental disabled children and adults in Alachua County and serves as an advocate for all persons with developmental disabilities, regardless of where they may live or who may provide support and services to them. Please welcome Laura and Danielle joining us today.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for having us. I appreciate it very much. It's our first time with you and we're glad to be here. So again, I am Danielle Towery. I am the Chief Operating Officer at the ARC of Alachua County. We have been a provider of services and advocacy for individuals with developmental disabilities for over 50 years in Alachua County. Our main campus is located across from Santa Fe College on 83rd Street in Gainesville. And we also have 16 residential group homes throughout the community in the city of Gainesville. So the fight for rights for individuals with developmental disabilities started as a grassroots movement in the 1950s, made up of parents of individuals with developmental disabilities, and emboldened by their collective desire to raise their children in their homes instead of having to put them in an institution. The ARC was born. So state and local chapters were established over time. And the ARC of Alachua County, as you mentioned, was founded in 1962 or began, but was officially incorporated in 1966. Today, the ARC of Alachua County serves approximately 300 individuals in one or more of our programs, including day services, vocational services, and our residential services. So our day programs consist of classroom-like activities and learning opportunities that are held at our main campus across from Santa Fe College, Mondays through Fridays. And this includes recreational activities that include Special Olympics. Of course, during these COVID times, some of these activities have been a little bit different, but they have continued. Our vocational programs include work opportunities within our own production and shredding businesses, such as Gone Forever Shredding, and supported employment opportunities, which help individuals search for, prepare for, interview for jobs in the community, and then help job coaching assistance for them once they've secured a job for as long as they need. Our largest program is our residential services. We serve individuals in a supported living setting, meaning that they live independently in the community, and our supported living coaches assist them as frequently as needed throughout the week to ensure that they're maintaining their home and their finances and their health. Then we have a personal support services program that assists individuals in a semi-independent setting where individuals live in a dormitory-like setting where they have their own bedroom and shared common areas, and then the staff are there each day, but not 100% of the time each day. And then finally, we have 16 group homes, as I mentioned, throughout Gainesville, most of which have 6 individuals living in their home. Some of them have as few as 4. We have 2 homes that have as many as 12 folks living in them. And these locations are staffed 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And then enmeshed among all of these programs are our nursing services and our behavioral support services, as well as our administrative supports. Jobs and careers at the Arc of Alachua County are meaningful and rewarding. And we are always looking for passionate and caring individuals who are interested in helping provide individuals with a fulfilling life and a safe and caring home environment. Currently, we have support aid positions that require no related experience. We also have direct support professional positions that do require 1 year of related experience or 30 credit hours of college education. These positions offer varying full-time and part-time shifts, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Also, the ARC is a place that you can be proud to make a career. And so for those interested in advancement opportunities or have management experience already, we also currently have residential manager and assistant manager positions available. We also have several positions in our administrative services, as well as an LPN position in our nursing. And in the administrative, it's like an IT help desk position and an HR generalist that is currently available. So anyone interested can go to arcalachua.org/careers to view the job descriptions, apply, and they're also welcome to email hr@arcalachua.org with any questions. And I'll finish off by saying that I am a coffee drinker. I have coffee every morning, but it may be sacrilegious to say that I have, as I've aged, started drinking decaffeinated coffee as a substitute. So thank you.
We love it. Thank you for sharing the coffee story. A little while ago, you used a word, you said meaningful employment. And at Career Coffee Shop, we love feel-good stories. Do you have a favorite outcome or a quick success story you could share with us today from working at the ARC?
There are so many. The thing that always comes to my mind that I just feel like I always have to share, I've been with the organization for a lot of years, and my grown daughter now was 3 years old at a time when we were integrating. We used to have a child services program. So right now we only serve adults. But the idea of our services is to integrate folks into the community, right? To really have them be part of the community and not segregate them as once was the case. And so at that time, we decided to integrate typical children into the early intervention program. And again, my daughter was 3 years old and she'd been in the program for about 2 months. And my office was in the same building. So one day she comes running down to my office and says, Mommy, Christopher doesn't have any feet. And after 2 months of being in the daycare setting with this other child, she, for the first time, realized that he was different because he didn't have any feet because they had played dress up that day. And it just, to me, kind of showed the fact that the sooner we can integrate people into the community in every way, the more normalized they're going to be, and people aren't going to be afraid or uncertain or think of them as anything different. She just didn't think of him as anything different than herself until that moment.
Yeah, and another question that we have for you is, do you have any volunteer opportunities? And especially going to the holiday season, what would be your greatest need?
We do have opportunities for volunteering in our day programs. Just because of some of the strict background screening and training requirements, we have to limit it to our day programs and not our residential services. And so we're always looking for folks that are interested in and available during the day for volunteer. However, again, right now, just because of the COVID situation, we are just now starting a soft opening of our day programs. So it would probably be the first of next year before we would start having volunteers in our day programs again. But I will say, we just recently we do have multiple groups from the colleges, particularly UF in this case, who will come do service projects. One of them just came and beautified our courtyard here at the main campus by planting and mulching and doing things. So there are usually always opportunities for groups on campus that want to do volunteer opportunities really any time during the year, all year round. And they can reach out to myself, or the website has our development and PR director, Mark Johnson's contact information listed as well.
And then just a final question, what changes have you seen due to COVID recently?
Well, because our employees, for the most of them, are essential workers. There's not been a change as far as needing employees to work and being able to keep people employed. We have had to start like a hazard pay bonus that has been very helpful for our employees to keep them on board. We've had to change a dramatic amount of things. We had to close our day programming. We have very strict visitor policies and employee screenings that have to go on every day. So that has been a big change, but we have, the beauty of working in an organization like this is it tends to attract really, good-hearted people who have a passion for what they do. So that have continued to come to work are doing it, and not just because they need a job, but because they care about the people we serve, and they have done so much to keep our folks safe in this very strange and unprecedented time. And we have had such low numbers of positive cases, and we've had nobody who's tested positive in our client population that has had symptoms. So, and I attribute that to the care of the direct support staff.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for joining us today and for all that you and your team do within our community. Please let us know here at Santa Fe College how we can help you continue to meet your mission.
Excellent. Thank you so much for having us.
All right, so that was our last guest presenter for this show. I do want to let you all know that we are planning one more show this year that will focus on some of the highlights from past episodes. We expect to have it built and edited and scheduled to run December 10th, so please keep an eye out open for it.
But please don't let that stop you from reaching out to us or any one of our guests that have joined us over the last few months with questions or assistance in reaching your education and workforce goals. It's what we do, it's what we're here for, and it's what each of us loves.
It looks like we have come to an end of our show. From all of us at Career Coffee Shop, while we continue to weather the storm, our guests, and from all of us at Santa Fe College, we want to let you know that we are here for you and are committed to your success.
Thank you all. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great holiday season. Until next time.